Hey, if you've ever cracked open a piece of modern electronics, you've definitely seen a MOSFET. But you know, testing one the right way can be kind of tricky. So today, we're going to master the test for one of the most common components to fail on a motherboard. And I'm going to show you the one huge trap you have to avoid.
So why should you even care about this one little component? Well, because this little guy is often the single most common point of failure. Seriously, knowing how to test it properly is an absolute game changer for pretty much any repair you'll ever do.
All right, let's get into why this is so critical. Getting this test right is the difference between a fast, successful repair and just a frustrating afternoon of wasting your time and, even worse, perfectly good parts.
Look, by the time we're done here, you're going to have the confidence to make the right call every single time. No more desoldering a perfectly good component just because a misleading test pointed you in the wrong direction.
Okay, enough talk. Let's get our hands dirty. How do you actually test one of these things while it's still soldered to the board? The good news is, the basic test is surprisingly simple. Let's just walk right through it.
First things first, let's get our bearings. If you look at a typical 8-pin MOSFET, you'll see a bunch of pins. Now don't let it intimidate you. You've got three main areas: the source, the gate, and the drain. You'll notice multiple pins for the source and drain, but they're all connected together internally. That single pin, that's the gate, and it's basically the on-off switch.
The actual process? Super easy. First, you're going to grab your multimeter and flick it over to diode mode. Then, you just place one probe on any of the source pins and the other probe on any of the drain pins. That's it. What you're really doing here is testing the MOSFET's internal body diode. So, what are we looking for on the meter? Well, a healthy, happy MOSFET is going to give you a reading somewhere in the ballpark of 400 to 700 millivolts. Now, if you get a reading that's close to zero, your first thought is probably that the component is shorted out. It's dead. But, and this is a big but, there's a catch.
And this right here, this is the trap I was telling you about. This is the one mistake that can fool even really experienced technicians into pulling a perfectly good part off a board.
So picture this. You're testing a MOSFET. You look down at your meter and you see this, a reading of virtually zero. Your brain immediately screams, "Aha, got it, it's shorted." But hold on a second, not so fast.
Because context is everything. What if I told you this specific MOSFET is part of the power delivery circuit for the CPU? All of a sudden, that near zero reading might not mean failure at all. So the big question is it actually shorted?
And the answer, believe it or not, is probably not. This is the exact moment where so many people go wrong. In certain places on a motherboard, a really, really low reading like that is completely normal when you test it in circuit.
So what on earth is going on here? It's because modern CPUs have an incredibly low internal resistance. So when that MOSFET is connected to the CPU's power rail, your multimeter isn't just reading the MOSFET, it's actually reading through the MOSFET and into the CPU itself. The same thing can happen with other big chipsets. In fact, if you were to actually remove the CPU from its socket, that reading would magically jump right back up to normal.
Okay, so now that we know how to spot a failed MOSFET and how not to get tricked, there's another crucial piece of the puzzle: knowing what type it is. This is absolutely essential when you need to find a replacement.
So let's quickly break down the key differences between the two main types, N-channel and P-channel. You know, they turn on with different voltages, current flows in the opposite direction, but honestly for us, the most important differences are right there at the bottom: efficiency and cost.
And that's it. That's the whole story right there. Those two factors, higher efficiency and lower cost, are exactly why you are going to see N-channel MOSFETs everywhere in modern electronics. They're the workhorse.
And this all brings us to our final section, and I mean this. It's the single most important rule you have to follow when you're replacing a MOSFET.
The source material could not be more clear on this. You absolutely, under no circumstances, can swap an N-channel for a P-channel or the other way around. The result isn't just that the circuit won't work, it's that you will actively cause more damage. You will fry the control IC that's telling the MOSFET what to do.
So here's the crucial takeaway. Finding the bad part is only half the job. A successful repair means putting in the correct type of replacement. Always, always, always check the part number and the datasheet to be 100% sure.
And there you have it. That is how you test a MOSFET like a pro and avoid that classic trap. Hopefully this will save you some real time and frustration on your next repair. So that leaves me with just one final question for you. What's the one component that you always kind of struggle to test? Let us know.
Thanks for tuning in.